everyone, Jem here and welcome to my creative space. So there's an air of excitement in the studio today. It's the first day of our dephemerember challenge, and today here's our prompt list for the challenge. And if you don't know anything about this is run by Louise Heinzel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. So check out their channel and find out all about dephemerember. But today we're going to be working on the prompt 02 for the 2nd of December, and it's altered playing card and antique keys. So I have thought long and hard about this, and look, I haven't even I want to make a pocket to go in here to pop this in. I haven't even done that yet, so we will do that. But altered playing card and antique keys. Did I say that right the first time? Anyway, so I've been thinking about this one, and I've collected up a few. I have some little antique type keys, and I also have some playing cards, and I'm thinking on this, and I had several different ideas that I've been tossing around, and I think I've finally settled on one. So I'm going to be working on the theme of the key to my heart. And to do this, I'm going to flip through. I'm not necessarily going to start at the front of my journal. I want to flip through to find a page with a music background, because when I was thinking about this, I've got this awesome tissue wrap paper, and do you know what? I don't very often buy new clothes, but a little while ago we were on holiday and I did buy myself a new dress, and it came wrapped in this amazing tissue paper. I mean, just look at this. Isn't this kind of just a junk journaler's dream? So, of course I saved it. And I think today I'm going to start off by just using this tissue paper as a bit of a background, and I want to do that over a music page so that I get that music coming through, because if I'm thinking along the theme of the key to my heart, I think a little music in the background would be quite special. So I'm going to roughly tear a piece, and I think when I put it on, I'm going to try and just crinkle this up a little bit to give some texture. Alright, so let's have a go, see where we get to. And I'm going to pick the corner that's got this beautiful flower, and I think it's a peony. Oops, sorry. And as I say, I'm going to scrunch this up and try and get a bit of texture. So I need something to protect my pages, and I need some glue. Alright, so I've got a little bit of plastic in here, and I've got some PVA glue which I've just added a little bit of water to, just so that it's a little bit more runny. So wow, can't believe it's December already. I did have a bit of a panic last week when I realised that the overseas posting dates for Christmas cards was kind of upon me, and I had to whip out some Christmas cards quite quickly to send to family overseas. But oh, December already. There we go. Where has this year gone? Alright, so I've given that page a good coat, and I'm going to pop this piece of tissue paper on, but as I do, I'm going to deliberately sort of scrunch it a bit to get some nice texture in there. And then I'm just going to put another thin layer over the top. to excuse my wrist today. I've hurt it, and I've just got it wrapped up just to give it a little bit of support at the moment. So it doesn't look very attractive, but it is helping. Alright, now that that gift wrap paper has got a little bit of a gloss on this side of it, so I'm hoping that that PVA glue is going to dry okay. I'm just going to brush that in well, and it's quite a warm day here, so I might just sit that outside to dry. Okay, whilst that page is drying, I'm going to make a start on my card, and I think I'm going to keep the same theme with a bit of texture on this playing card. And I've got this, again, this is just ordinary gift wrap, and you can see that I've used part of this tissue to on the gel plate, so I'm not sure whether to use a bit of that or whether to stick with a bit of plain. We'll see, but again, I'm just going to do the same technique. Coat that, and this is just a bit of an old bit of acetate which I tend to use just to protect my work surface. Oh. And again, I'm just going to crinkle this up a bit, get some lovely texture in there, but I still actually want to be able to see through to the original playing card here, and I've chosen this one quite deliberately. This is the Jack of Hearts. Alright, so again, that needs to dry before I can do too much else. Alright, so that card's now more or less dry, and I've unstuck it from the acetate, and I'm just going to trim around to get rid of the excess tissue paper. There we go. And what I've done is to do exactly the same with two other playing cards. There we go. So we have the King of Diamonds, the Jack of Hearts, and the Joker. Who has the key to my heart? There is the question. Haha. Right. Where to next? Well, I want to add a little bit of colour and a bit more depth into these, and I think I'm going to use a little bit of a script stamp here. Right, so I found my script stamp, and quite appropriately, this is a quote about love. So there we go. And I'm going to introduce a little bit of gold just into the background here, and unfortunately I can only find my tiny little gold ink pad, so I'm hoping that this is going to be enough. So right, so I've decided not to do too much more to those cards at the moment. I may add something else later on, but right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to ink the edges, and I'm going to put in an eyelet, because my idea is to attach these keys with a jump ring through the eyelet, and maybe some ribbon or some bits and pieces with them as well. I'll see when I come to do it, but I'm going to ink the edges, put an eyelet in each of them now. I'm just thinking, do I want to do anything with the back? That needs a little bit of glue. Yeah, there's a decision, isn't there? Okay, so there's those 3 cards backed, and what I did at the same time was just whipped round the edges with the sewing machine. Now the king, you can see I've already inked the edges on that one, so I'm just going to do the other 2. And then, as I said earlier, I'm going to pop some eyelets in them so that I can attach those keys. Okay, so holes done, and I've got my little jewellery kit here. I've got some reasonable sized jump rings in here, and I'm just going to use these to attach those keys, hoping that they're big enough. Ooh, just. Now, just having a look, I will close that up for a minute, but I'm wondering I've got these little things. Can you see that? Now these you clamp around the ends of ribbon or bits and pieces, and they make great dangles, and I'm wondering whether to put some of those on as well. And I think I probably will, but I might attach those with a second jump ring. So for now, I'm just going to put a key on each, and then I'm going to have a look in my ribbon stash, and I'll see what I have in there. Okay, I want to stick with those sort of black, red and white colour themes, so I've pulled out my bag of red and black ribbons, and I'm just having a look to see if anything jumps out at me. There's quite a nice dark red there, which I think will pick up some of the darker reds in the background that we started with. Okay, so for now I think that's my 3 playing cards done, as much as I'm going to do at the moment. I've got the antique keys on here, we've got the altar playing cards, so let's get them into the journal. Okay, so here's my journal. It's just still a little bit damp. We can take that out now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish that off with my hairdryer, and I'm going to cut around the edges. Right, so I've trimmed around that page. So I think I'll find some way of affixing these, but I love the back of this, so I actually want them to be in a pocket, I think. So what I'm going to do, I've got another piece of music paper here, and I think I'm going to do the same technique. I've got a bit of that wrapping paper left, and what I'm going to do is to make another piece of paper and then cut a pocket out of that, or a pocket that 3 things can go in. Right, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to use exactly the same technique, bit of watered down PVA, tissue paper over the top, let it dry. Okay, so here's our piece of music paper, and again covered it with that beautiful gift wrap tissue. And what I've decided to do, I picked up this die a little while ago, and it makes a really cool little corner pocket with 3 slits in it. So I think I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to plan A, but I'm going to have a go and try this now. I have to just get this. My slight reservation about this, let's put that out of the way. Ooh. My slight reservation about this, if we bring this back, is whether it's going to be too, yeah, it's a bit too camouflaged, isn't it? So what I'm wondering, yeah, that doesn't stand out enough for me, and I'm thinking even if I do the edges in gold, I don't think that's going to stand out enough. But I do have a bit of an idea. Alright, so what I've done is I've cut a second one of these, and this is in a sort of a mirror card. And my plan is to just slip this inside the one that matches the page, and just offset it slightly like this, so that you get the red edging it. I tried it with gold, but it was too much. It was too bright for me, and that, I mean, that might be to do with my gold paper, but we'll use that for something else. That's fine. Right, so let's put this together. I think what I'm going to do is to actually trim off these bits that would normally be folded over, and then I can glue them together and get them sitting just where I want them. Something like that. Okay, so as you can see, I've stuck that together. I've just offset the red shiny one slightly, and I've folded the tabs over, and as you can see, I've put some double-sided tape on there. So let's pop this pocket. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to pop it there for a moment, because the last thing I want to do, because I've got all my playing cards here, and the last thing I want to do is to create a bit of a sentiment, and I don't want to quite commit to where I'm putting that until I've got the sentiment as well. So I'll go and create that, and we will come back. Alright, so I've printed off some words here. I've done a couple just in case I need some spares, and this is just a piece of white card, and it had the white backing of a napkin glued onto it, and then it's been run through the printer. Now I think the white looks a little bit stark here, so I'm going to try a couple of different things I've not tried before. I'm going to try and use a little bit of acrylic paint just with my finger and just try to take some of the white off this. There is a little bit of a ghost print from the napkin, the back of the napkin that I used, but I just want this to look a little bit less white. So I'm going to try a couple of things and see how they go. Okay, so I've got a stencil here. Get the texture paste and make my own texture paste. I'm just going to put a little. I'm going to put a few hearts on here. I just feel like it needs something. Right, so this is now dried. The little bit I'd put up here, I actually wiped off before it dried because there was texture paste on the back of my stencil and it hadn't got a clear image. So this is dried, and what I'm doing now, I have this is actually a test pot of paint from the DIY store, and I'm literally just dabbing this onto that texture paste to give a bit of lift and a bit of colour. Alright, let's bring this all together, shall we? So, page edges are curling up a little bit at the moment, but we'll put something on there when we finish to flatten those out again. So here's our corner pocket. I'm going to pop that in there. We've got a little sentiment: who holds the key to your heart? I think a bit of double-sided tape will work on that. There we are. So we've got our altered playing cards and our antique keys. We've got the King of Diamonds, the Jack of Hearts and the Joker. And the question is, who holds the key to your heart?